Biggest concern, everyone understands that times are tough economically, but people were more interested in the infrastructure, the streets. Flooding was a big issue, and jobs.
Well, when you look at the flooding issue, that's something that geographically you can only do so much, but obviously you've paid attention to this as well. What do you think can be done on down the line to maybe take care of some of these problems?
Well, you're absolutely right. These flooding issues have been going on for years and have been affecting Barberton, and we are in the low spot. There's certain things we can do to help mitigate flooding, and certain things we can do to help the residents when flooding does. Whether that's in putting in ditches in certain locations or something more complex with new sewer lines, bigger sewer lines. So there's some things that are very inexpensive that would have some great effect, and then other items that are going to take a long time and be very costly.
Bill, let me ask you this, and of course now you have the November election where you'll go up against Mr. Kevin Mitchell, but what do you think? How did the residents of Barberton respond to you so well? What do you think the message from your camp was able to get to them to say, hey, yeah, let's look at Bill Judge?
Well, I think looking at new ideas, listening to the people. I put out a survey, one of my first campaign pieces, with a survey to get reaction and opinions from the residents, because their opinions do matter. As elected officials, we work for them. They pay our salaries, so we have to take their opinions and ideas and see what's important to them.
And what was the response that, obviously they seem like you were inviting them in to be a big part of the city's future?
Yeah, we have to work together to move forward. We have the luxury of being a somewhat small city with a lot of resources, and the residents are a big part of that. So we have to take into account their opinions and what they feel should be priorities, and then address those priorities. So they play a very key role in that.
One of the areas that stood out to me in talking to you a ways back, Bill, and we're talking with Bill Judge, who won in the primary over Mayor Bob Jeanette in Barberton, was that you really wanted to attack the social media aspect of the city, getting everybody on the communication same page, and you thought that would make the city run more efficiently. And I thought maybe you could explain that again for me.
Well, a lot of the technology that's out there in terms of social media are free, as long as you have a computer. And those are quick and easy ways to send out media blitzes or positive information through Twitter and Facebook, and we didn't start making use of that. And it may be something small, but I think that it would have long-term effects and really help the city and getting everyone working together and getting that information out to residents.
Bill, let me ask you this: how critical are these times ahead for the city of Barberton, financially and beyond?
Very critical. There's only so much we can do, no matter who's in office in Barberton. In many cases, our hands are tied by the state and the federal government and what programs they have. So that's why we have to work together. I'm going to set up a meeting with our finance director to look at projections for the next few years. And with my strong finance and business background, we should be able to come together and make things work. And that's why it's important to look for outside funds, grant funding, and look at items that we can change and things we can make use of that are very inexpensive or don't cost any money.
Bill, what type of message are you going to try to convey to the residents of Barberton here in the weeks ahead leading up to the November election?
Well, we're going to stay positive. Our campaign's going to stay positive and move in the right direction and continue with the survey. We're generating the results. And just get that plan out there to the people, the details of the plan, and moving forward.
Yeah, and as you opened up our conversation, Bill, the infrastructure of Barberton is going to be high on your list when you're relating to the residents of Barberton. It certainly seems like they spoke loud and clear that they're tired of the flooding, they're tired of the problems with the infrastructure.
Yeah, and the communication and education component that surrounds those areas is so vital to moving the city forward. if you sit down with a neighborhood or a group of people, you explain how things are funded, you explain time frames and government grants and things like that, they're okay with that. They just want to know the information.
How creative must you be in the road down for Barberton when you're talking about nearby communities like Copley Township, like Norton, like Wadsworth a little bit, creativity to maybe get to work on the infrastructure a little bit?